Hello and welcome to this training on risk management for development, relief and humanitarian projects. This first module is going to set the foundation for the course to come. It's going to impart a comprehensive understanding of what we mean by risk management. Why does risk management matter? Where does risk come from? And what is the importance, the significance of risk in development, relief and humanitarian projects? Let's begin by defining what we mean by risk management and why is it important in project contexts. Risk management is the systematic process of identifying, assessing and managing potential risks that could impact the success of a project. In the world of development, relief and humanitarian projects, risk management matters. It's crucial to the dynamic and often challenging environments in which we operate. Risks can take various forms, ranging from financial uncertainty to geopolitical instability. And risks can come from the inside and the outside. So internal risks, what we mean here is risks that originate within the project or within the organization. These can be things such as poor project planning, resource constraints, or team-related issues. While external risks come from the outside, they arise from external factors beyond the project's control. These can include things like natural disasters, political unrest, economic fluctuations, or regulatory changes. Let's jump straight in with a few examples. For example, an agricultural development project may have an internal risk of the lack of specialized knowledge within the project team about local soil conditions. It may have an external risk of unforeseen adverse weather conditions affecting crop yields. Taking the example of a health awareness campaign, we may have an internal risk of insufficient training of project staff on culturally sensitive communication methods. External risks may include things like an outbreak of a new or highly contagious disease in the project area. If we take the example of a post-disaster reconstruction project, the internal risk could be, for example, inadequate coordination and communication among various project teams responsible for different reconstruction tasks, while the external risk could be a delay in government approvals for the reconstruction plans due to bureaucratic challenges. Now, this training is for people working in relief, humanitarian and development projects, and we're going to look at some examples of risks specific to those areas. And let's also clarify those terms. There's a great deal of overlap and there are some unique differences. Relief, humanitarian and development are all distinct terms used in the context of addressing different aspects of crises, challenges and societal progress. So let's briefly break down those differences before we move on. In summary, relief is immediate short-term assistance during crises. Humanitarian efforts encompass both short-term relief and longer-term development, while development focuses on sustained long-term improvements for the well-being of societies. They will all share similar areas of risk, and some types of risk may be more likely or even unique in one context more than another. In the context of relief, here we're focusing on providing immediate assistance to individuals or communities facing urgent needs due to crises, disasters, or conflicts. Therefore, the time frame is short-term, and the focus is on addressing the immediate impact of an emergency. This means providing food, shelter, medical aid, and other essential services. The primary goal of relief, then, is to save lives, alleviate suffering, and prevent further harm during or immediately after a crisis. So, the kind of risks we may see in a relief project may be delays in delivery of essential supplies, unpredictable weather conditions, or security threats in conflict zones. Shifting our focus to humanitarian efforts, they encompass a broader range of activities, including both relief and development. So they aim to promote well-being, dignity, and the rights of individuals affected by crises. So the time frame for humanitarian actions are both short-term, as in relief, and long-term, as in development, addressing both the immediate needs while also working on sustainable solutions. Humanitarian principles guide the actions, emphasizing humanity, neutrality, impartiality, and independence. It involves not just responding to crises, but also addressing root causes and building resilience. In humanitarian projects, we may see risks such as political instability in the target area, a sudden influx of displaced populations, and challenges in coordinating with local authorities. And moving on to development. Development initiatives are long-term strategic efforts aimed at improving the overall well-being of societies. So this can include economic well-being, social well-being, as well as institutional progress. So the time frame for development is continuous and sustained. It's a sustained process, focusing on creating positive and lasting change in communities over an extended period. So the goal of development is to bring about positive transformations in areas such as education and healthcare and infrastructure and governance, and aims to build sustainable, self-reliant societies. And in development projects, we may see risks such as funding shortages, stakeholder resistance, and changes in government policies affecting project goals. So why is risk management important? Why does it matter for project success? There is a clear relationship between effective risk management and successful project outcomes. Effective risk management is directly correlated with project success and ensures that potential challenges are identified early, allowing project teams to develop strategies to mitigate or respond to these challenges. Proactive risk management contributes to the achievement of project objectives within established timelines and budgets. Let's look at a couple of case studies to highlight the impact of poor risk management. In case study 1, we have a relief project which is facing significant delays in delivering aid to a disaster-stricken area. This is due to inadequate planning for logistical challenges, and as a result, it leads to increased suffering among the affected populations. In the second case study, we have a development project which is experiencing unexpected budget overruns. This is due to unexpected currency exchange rate fluctuations, and this impacts the completion of key milestones. In both of these cases, effective risk management could have anticipated and planned for these problems before they occurred, and therefore reduced or avoided the negative impact on the project's success. Before we wrap this module up, I want to introduce a few of the key terms we'll be using during this course. There will be more terminology as we go through, but right now we're going to look at 4 key ideas. The first is risk, and risk is the possibility of an event occurring that could have an impact on the achievement of project objectives. The second term is mitigation. Mitigation is the act of reducing the severity or the impact of a risk. The third term I want to present to you is the concept of the contingency plan. This is a predefined strategy which is to be implemented if a particular risk event occurs. And the final term is what we call residual risk. This is the level of risk that remains after our mitigation strategies are applied. So those are the first 4 terms we're introducing in this course. Risk, the possibility of an event with a negative impact. Mitigation, the actions taken to reduce the severity of or impact of that risk. Contingency plan, the plan in place to be implemented if that risk happens. And residual risk is the risk that remains after we have activated our contingency plan to mitigate the risk if it occurs. And we're going to wrap this module up with a reflection task. There will be a lot of tasks during this course, a lot of times to reflect and apply what you learn. But right now, the first task is reflection. Consider a past project, either in development, relief, or a humanitarian project that you have been involved in. And identify one internal risk and one external risk that could have been managed more effectively with proper risk management.